How to find weak stocks. In this particular video, we'll look at how you can find stocks which are weak for short selling, or for some people who are interested in finding weak stocks as a reversal setup for going long. Now again, weak stocks depends on what is your time frame. First you have to look at what time frame you want to look at a stock which is weak. A weak stock can be weak on a 1 year time frame, it can be weak on a 3 year time frame, 2 year, or half a year, or a quarter. What we'll look at today is how you can set up a simple scanning IntelliChart to find weak stocks and find stocks which are going down for possible short sell and use them to anticipate a short sell. Now this is an example of a stock which is weak because it's been going down. You will see that the stock has gone down from 100 to 45. Or like say Diamond Offshore Drilling, like if you look at it, this is a very weak stock. This stock has gone down from 72 to around 26 in the last couple of in last 1 year. Or GMCR, which was at one stage at around 160, 157, or 100 whatever 157, and it's come down to 78, or cut into half almost. Or Range Resources is a weak stock, or Danbury Resources is a weak stock. Here especially if you see it went down a lot, or rig. So these are all examples of stocks which were at some stage weak, and currently they may not be, but like they were weak. So how can you find these kind of stocks? Why during this kind of a phase where they are going down? Because in order to find a short sell setup, you want to find a continuation short sell where there is a continuation of the weak move. So if you can find candidates like this, you can try and find points during this particular phase to short them. So that's the idea. Say like a recent example of Michael Kors is weak here. So here like this could have been a possible short point. Or like say if you look at a stock like Win, which is weak. See, like it's very weak here. So and it offered like points where this or this kind of a thing, or breakdown here, or even here where there was a minor counter trend rally which failed, could be a shorting point. So how can you do it? And I'll show you a very simple way of doing this, and then there are many more complicated ways of doing it. In order to do this, let's try and understand what is this particular thing which is there, and that is basically a ratio of 7 days moving average to a 65-day moving average, and it has to be less than 0.95. That means in simple English it means that 7-day moving average is 5% below the average, a 65-day moving average of price. So a 7-day moving average is 5% below the 65-day moving average. So the stock will be weak if that happens. And you want to find periods where this was particularly weak, or when did it start and it continued to be weak. That's the thing which you're going to find. So once you do that, you know from here, like, and this is the day this stock went down, or this stock met your condition. Doesn't mean that the stock was already going down. Here also the stock was going down. Here also the stock has been in downtrend for a long period of time. If you see from around 250, it has been cut down to 97, and along the point you want to find short selling opportunities when it is really weak. Because a lot of times stocks can be weak, but they like just spend time like this going, so you want to find the weakest period. So basically once you set up a indicator like this will show you when the stock is weak. And you look at any stock, Consolidation or Chesapeake Energy, or you look at say many people's favorite stock Baba, or like say Jipro. Okay, so it was weak during this particular period, but it turned around after that. So nothing is permanent. Stock can be strong, and this is similar to that on a bullish side, where average C5 is, there should be actually average C7 is greater than average C65, 5% above that. Okay, so let's look at this particular thing which is like average C is below to find stocks. In order to do that, the simple thing which you do in IntelliChart is, once you created this condition, is to create scan condition, and you create a scan condition and say greater than 0 and scan in a new window. So once you scan, what it has done is it has given you 61 stocks which meet this condition. Those stocks are in S&P 500. So the stocks in S&P 500 which meet your condition that their average 7 days moving average is below average 65 days moving average are these. And let's quickly look at these stocks to see what is happening. And for that I'll just tab it here. So let's look at this. Like you have Urban Outfitters which has just got very weak. You have KSS which is like basically a short selling point probably if it continues to go down here. You have First Solar which is like dropped. It was going up and it has dropped. Or you have ADT, and this is the kind of setup which you want to look at where there's a range expansion and then there is a follow through. Like this is the short selling point for this kind of a stock because it was already weak. Devan Energy Coach is probably a short selling candidate here, or better was like here based on anticipation that it might break down. So you can find candidates like this: Kinder Morgan Energy, SLG, BXP, West Management, Underco Petroleum, or Omnicon Group, which is like in a week, or Raytheon, or AL, Love, International Paper, PXT, healthcare rates. See, the rates have been weak for some time, and you'll see that this is a continuation short point, was a continuation short point here. Or Autodesk, then you have Ventas. Like you'll see, all the REITs were weak, and they were like basically weak for quite some time. So those are the kind of stocks like people look at when short selling strong stocks, and you can also look at a weak stock which breaks down. There is like a lot of people who uh, are very gung-ho about shorting very strong stocks, and they always feel that this should go down. But it's easier once a stock has established a downtrend to find a short selling point, uh, which is one way of looking at it. There are no absolutes in the market. So if you want weaker stock to short where there is a continuation of the short move, then this kind of a scan will allow you to find these kind of stocks. So you have these like stocks which are meeting this condition, like say Murphy. Now this is a breakdown. Probably this, if this breakdown has a follow through, the stock will continue to go down. QUP, Noble, Yahoo, Norfolk Southern, which has been weak for some time. Like see, stock has been weak, and then like it had a range expansion and a follow through day to yesterday. You have Frontier Communication Corporation, which is very weak. Xerox, CTL, Century Telephone. See, like it will tell you, like, well, if you go through this every day, it will, you can like and look at a stock when it is setting up like this at this stage to see if and put a watch list from that particular list. Rig, SWN, the oil stocks have been weak for a lot of like almost for a year now, and many of them are having, see, another breakdowns. Alcoa, which was a strong stock some time ago, like say very strong stock last year, and now it's a weak stock, breaking down. Consultancy or Kors, Michael Kors, Fossil watchmaker, which is very weak. Enco Services, Chesapeake, GMCR, which was once upon a time a darling of the market. See here, like, and then like it's now very weak. So if you're looking for weak stocks or strong stocks, similarly you can use the other side of this scan to basically look for strong stocks, and you can scan for that to look at very strong stock. If you like and create scan condition and scan in a new window, you will find stocks which are very strong, like your Netflix, which has been strong for some time. Recently it has a weakness. Or say look at Skyworks Solution, which has been very strong for a long period of time. Or you have like Electronic Arts or Avigo, Signa. But today's video was about weakness, and I'll make more videos like this which will show you many ways to do find strong or weak stocks using momentum. Because once you find a strong or a weak stock, you can wait for a setup like this and then buy here on a range expansion once it breaks out of this minor correction, and then you can capture a move like this, which can be just a 3 or 4 days, and it was a 12% move. Similarly, like here, if you see, it was like just a 4 or 5 days move, and that was 11% move. So setting up something like this to find weak or strong stocks can help you find many trading opportunities along the way.